everyone, and welcome to the call. Pam's Healthy Tips tonight. We are glad that you are joining us. This is March 20th, 2018, and so some great stories we've been hearing from a lot of different people, and we're excited to share with you tonight a little bit more about the natural health revolution. If you've heard about it, it is an incredible movement, I like to call it, of sharing what we have learned about just natural nutrition. And it's just a whole food is what this is. And people say, well, how easy is it to take?
How do you get
Well, it's super easy to take. There's a couple lines going there. And one of the things we do, like tonight before I go to bed, I'll go in there and get my shaker cup and mix up my super mix in it with about 8 to 10 ounces of water, however much you want to put it in the refrigerator. Next morning, shake it up and drink it. I mean, it is that simple. And it is that easy, and it's hard sometimes for people to think something that simple can have all these wonderful results. But we're here to tell you it does. Everybody on here can be nodding their head that have had the results with it, because we know that good things in the body, and if it's the right thing. So there are, this is Moringa oleifera, which is the most nutrient-rich botanical on planet Earth. And so that's what you have bumped into learning about tonight, because there are 14 different species of moringa, and Moringa oleifera, which is the one that we have, is the most nutrient rich. So this one also has the seeds and the leaves and the fruit of the tree, which is giving you the 92 nutrients that your body needs. So 92 nutrients, 36 anti-inflammatories are in there, 46 antioxidants, your omegas and your amino acids, you name it, it's in here. This is a one-stop shopping. So you've got it in one little package, and it really, really, really is an amazing thing how it just goes into the body. It's enzymatically alive, goes into those cells, and just gives you what your body's looking for. The other little key that we talk about a lot, and you'll hear us talking about, is the T. So good stuff in, bad stuff out, right? So you want to detox and make sure that your body is healthy, keeping that kidney and liver and colon at the best optimum shape that we can keep it in as we are all aging, right? We want to stay healthy as we do that and have a great quality of life, which is key. And so enough about that little story. We want to just kind of give a little overview of what it is for those of you that are new coming on. And then I want to turn it over to Emily, who is over in Reno, Nevada. And I met Emily through another friend. It's amazing how the relationships just keep growing in this business. It's so fun. And so Emily is going to give a little introduction about our guest speaker tonight. And so Emily, the Reno team, I see y'all, welcome. And why don't you just tell us how you met Heather and a little background. So, good, come on up to this. There we go, now we can see you better. Yeah, perfect.
What?
Okay. There's some light. Okay, we had a change of our location tonight, so we're a little out of it, but we're just having fun here. We're making chocolates for Easter today, but do you want me to introduce Heather? Is that what?
Yes. Okay. How you met?
Unfortunately, my phone died right as you were messaging me, and so I didn't get that. But so Heather's a really amazing, strong woman, and she's also served in the military, and that's how I met her. And she just has a really sweet heart, and every time I see her, I just love to be around her. She was having some issues with her health and asked me some questions about the Zija products, and so she got started on that, and then a couple months later she told me something amazing, so I'll just let her tell you her story. And I'm just happy for her and excited that she's on here tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Emily. I'd like to just know how people met. And military, that's huge. First of all, we want to all say thank you. Everybody give a round of applause for our military, because that's an amazing thing. We appreciate you guys so much, and how you sacrifice your family and your time to keep us safe and to help us. And we are just so indebted to you. We'll always be for that. My dad was in the Army as well. We've got a lot of military connections on here tonight as well. And So I'm going to just turn it on over to Heather. We thank you, first of all, for being our guest. And she said she's perfectly fine just sharing her story. So we're just going to turn it over to her and let her share about how this amazing product has helped her and her pregnancy. So, Heather, go ahead. I'm going to mute some of these other people coming on. Go ahead.
Well, good evening. Thank you all for joining. I am super blessed, first of all, to have come across Emily and the ZJ product. And my story started about 4 years ago when our beautiful 3-year-old son, who was going to be the lonely child, proceeded to tell us after spending the night in my mom's house one night that if we died, he would be alone. And that's a pretty powerful statement by a 3-year-old. He said it so clearly and well thought out. So my husband and I decided that we should not be selfish and we should give our son that sibling that he had wanted. So that had happened in July of 2014. And
all right, I'll try to mute as I come in. People, please mute as you're coming in. Okay, everybody. Thanks. Go ahead.
We tried to get pregnant, and March of last year, we got pregnant. Unfortunately, that pregnancy terminated at about 7 weeks, and no one really knows why. And a few months later, I ran into Emily, and she was talking about how good she felt. She looked amazing, and her skin looked really good, and she looked like she had toned down a little bit, and I wanted to know more. So I started taking the ZJ product line, the Super Mix, the XM products. What else? I think the tea. Oh, definitely the shakes. The protein shakes taste really good, and it's easy to get protein in you because it helps you grow strong bones. So about 2 or 3 months after I started taking the ZJ products, we found out we were pregnant again. And we found out really early because we were trying. So I was about four weeks along when we found out we were pregnant, and I immediately called Emily, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And we talked to some nurses that she has friends with that are familiar with the ZJ line and made sure that I was taking things that were safe for pregnancy. And I read up on how moringa helps in pregnancy and also in lactation and afterwards. So I continued to take the Super Mix, the protein shakes, and sometimes the tea if I felt that I needed it. We've been very religious. My husband even makes my Super Mix for me in the morning and shakes it up, and he started taking it along with me. So here we are, and I'm sure you guys are all curious what a mother of twins looks like.
Thank you. That's so cute.
There's Snowy. Here we are at 32 weeks, and my doctors are really quite stunned. So when I started this journey with ZJ, I was 240 pounds and a BMI of 34, which isn't all that healthy. I've spent 22 years in the military and did tons of crash diets and everything you can to get yourself in the perfect weight for the Army. And when I was no longer out, I just sort of relaxed a little bit. So the ZJ products helped me lose some weight before I got pregnant. And then while I was pregnant, I started following the diet plan a little more closely, eating more protein, making sure that I was eating regularly. And I lost 11 pounds while pregnant with twins. So I lost 11 pounds and have since gained back 12 of that. And if you know anything about birth, women are supposed to gain weight. Well, with twins, you're supposed to gain a pound a week. I've gained 12 pounds and I'm at 32 weeks. My blood pressure is typically about 118/60, which is amazing for somebody of my elderly age. Yes, that is a real term when you're carrying twins and you're 41 years old. So my blood pressure is amazing. And our last visit, so I get to see the specialist every 2 weeks, my OB every week. So I get to see the girls a lot. And this last time the doctor did measurements, and he is 72 years old, my prenatal specialist. Bless his heart. And he was going through and looking at the results of the measurements. So when they do, what they do is they measure the head, the abdomen, and the femur of the babies to find out what their weight is. And they do that 3 times on each baby. It's you're laying there for a little bit. So come to find out, each of the girls who are identical girls are exactly the same weight to the gram. 1,801 grams is how much they weigh. That's just under 4 pounds. And the doctor, in his 72 years of age, had never seen twins weighing exactly the same weight, which is sort of a big deal because with identical twins, they share a placenta. So sometimes that placenta malfunctions and one twin gets more nutrients than the other twin, which can be pretty bad. So them being the same weight is huge. It's awesome. And he was so tempted to redo his measurements, but he knows that you can't really mess that up. So he was pretty shocked, and he's like, "You're doing amazing. I can't believe your blood pressure is good. You have gained very little weight considering. You look good. I'm not having any contractions, any bleeding, any significant side effects from being pregnant." And I was about 26 weeks, which means I was like 52 weeks pregnant. And I didn't feel pregnant. I feel really good. My energy levels are good. Everybody keeps telling me, although I feel like I'm pretty big, but they tell me that I look great. So I'm going to go with that. And we're looking toward having a natural, healthy birth.
And they are due very soon. You are
Yes.
30, what'd you say, 32 weeks?
I'm at 32 weeks, yeah. So 4 to 5 more weeks is optimal, and then 7 to 8 for sure.
Yeah. We are so excited for you. I mean, when you hear blood pressure normal and you hear that identical weight, I mean, that's just crazy, isn't it?
It is amazing.
Yeah. And when you said share the placenta, I had forgotten with identical, you know, it's been a while since I've been pregnant, but it's like, that's amazing that you're feeding and you are nourishing and all that super mix that's going in you is going right there, helping those little babies just grow and be healthy. We got 2 little Zisha babies on the way this time.
Yes.
And so is your 3-year-old just ecstatic that he's not getting
he's 7 now.
Well, 7, yeah, sorry. You said 4 years ago, yeah.
So he's 7 now, and he's just over the world joyed, and he's just the lovely, sweetest little boy. So he's decided he's staying home from camp this year, and he's going to help Grandma with his sisters.
Yes. And have you released, I know you told me your names, but I didn't know if you were saying it yet, but you can introduce your babies if you'd like, so we all know.
So Lyra Marie, and Kimber Leah. A little different, but hopefully not too different that we'll regret it 20 years from now.
Those are beautiful names. Yes, gorgeous. We are thrilled, and the energy's up for you, which is good right now, because we know how, boy, I remember it was first trimester and the last, you're just exhausted, you know, and second trimester, I think God just gives you that extra energy so you can go and do the things you need to do to get things ready for the baby. And then it's like, okay, it's time to rest again. And so having the energy that you have right now too is great that you're preparing. So anything else you want to talk about?
I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody had any.
Sure. Let me get over to gallery view so we can see who's on here. Yeah, you've got a bunch of people that have joined since we started. Does anybody have any questions for Heather? Or if you've got people that have any questions, because we know that the Moringa is safe for babies, it's safe for mommies, and so you can ask any questions that you have if you've got someone that you wanted to get information to if they couldn't be on tonight or anything. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, I must have done. Did I hear somebody?
I don't think so. I don't see any hands. Let me check each screen here. No.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to post pictures here in quite a few weeks, 4 weeks minimum. And I'll be happy to share how the breastfeeding journey goes, because with our son, I was able to produce enough milk to get him nourished, but not an overabundance of milk. And I understand that Moringa helps with your milk supply. So I'm very excited. Maybe we can check back in another 6 months and I could share that blessing also.
Oh, that would be great. Absolutely. We'd love to do that. And we'll follow the journey. Yes, I did go ahead and post, I think on Pam's Healthy Tips tonight, the little babies, so y'all can see this journey as we're going through. It's so fun to watch people have healthy pregnancies and these little blessings from above. And so it's just, it's the greatest pleasure ever, right? And also to know that they're healthy, and that's the greatest gift anybody could have. So yeah, we look forward to that, Heather. We will definitely take you up on that. And anytime you want to post anything in Pam's Healthy Tips, just to say, Heather here, and here's an update, we'll be following and look forward to that as well too.
I forgot to mention one very important thing. I took my glucose test, which is a horrible test that we all have to take in pregnancy to make sure you don't have gestational diabetes. And with Isaiah, I was on the cusp of having it. So then I had to take my blood sugar for a week and make sure I was eating properly. I went and did my 1-hour test and passed with flying colors.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I'm carrying 2, and that's still happening. So I'm overjoyed and thrilled. Hopefully you all can share my story, and I'd be happy to answer any questions of anyone if they have any.
Heather,
Yes, dear.
can you talk to them about your progesterone level?
Oh, yeah. So they think that the reason that I had miscarried in March was that my progesterone levels were not good. So I started taking the Zija product and tried really hard to get a hold of some progesterone. And progesterone, the fake progesterone, just really doesn't do anything, I found out in the long run. But my levels stayed consistent through about 10 weeks is when your placenta takes over for the progesterone. And what progesterone does is it makes it so that your body doesn't have a menstrual cycle, so that your body doesn't flush the babies out, and it knows that you're pregnant. So I didn't have any of those problems this time, which is definitely great.
That is, I mean, on all accounts, it's just check, 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 check.
Yeah.
So your physician's pretty excited too, isn't he? Your doctor?
Yes, very much so. So I have quite a few doctors, if you can imagine, and when we're delivering, we'll have quite a few more. So I'll be excited to share their experiences and how well I do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let me
I have a question.
Sure.
I have a question. Heather, I am so excited for you. I'm curious to know, being that you are extremely healthy now, and we're all so happy, are you going to deliver the babies natural, or have you decided on how the babies will be delivered?
Well, that's also an interesting story. Our son was born at home unassisted. So that was ultimately the goal when I got pregnant the second time. But since there are twins, identical specifically, then we're going to the hospital this time just to make sure. And I'll probably be the only twin mom to sign an AMA. Unless there's something wrong with the girls or myself, we will be having a natural birth. Yeah, no epidural, none of that, because to add to my story, I have
Wonderful.
8 bulging and compressed discs in my back, so having an epidural is not really an optimal thing for me. And yeah, we delivered Isaiah very quickly, and he was healthy, happy, and so hopefully that same experience will happen with the girls.
Yes, that's our prayer. We will be praying for that as well. Good
It's
question.
wonderful. Wonderful.
Good.
What's the due date?
Well, the official due date is May 15th, but since they're twins, they'll probably be more to the middle or late April or early May.
Julie, go ahead. Yeah.
I just wanted to say I had a friend on the call. She's a nurse, and she has had several miscarriages. She's off the call now, but she told me that you made her cry, happy tears, and she wants to look at this further. They just signed to adopt. She said that has given her a little more relaxation, and she wants to concentrate on this and maybe get the adopted baby a sibling.
Yes, yeah. So after we miscarriage, I went and saw a fertility specialist. I think everybody just has that inkling in their mind, especially at my advanced maternal age. And I showed up and I didn't have any paperwork, and the doctor turned me away. So I took that as a sign from God that there is something else that I'm meant to be doing. And quite literally 4 months later, we were pregnant. So yeah, I contribute that to ZJ and a little bit of wine.
Hi, what products was she taking? This is Kathy.
The Super Mix, a lot of protein shake, and the tea every once in a while. And I'm still taking, I do probably at least one pack of protein mix a day, maybe two, depending on my energy levels. I'm still taking the Super Mix, and I just started mowing down on those protein bars, the peanut butter ones specifically. So,
Yeah, those are good. That's a healthy snack to have handy.
yes.
Great. These are great questions, guys. Anybody else? I'm flipping through these to see. Let me get back up.
Hey, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we missed the due date because someone was ringing the gate to come over here.
May 15th is the actual due date. That would be 40 weeks. But since there's twins, late April, early May.
Okay.
Linda, go ahead.
I missed the very first part. And what did you say anything about how your doctor handled what you were doing? And
So I didn't tell him because personally I didn't care.
Yes.
You know, and I did tell, we started out seeing a midwife, and the midwives were very open and interested in what I was doing and what I was taking. Well, MDs tend to have a little different view of things, and I feel like sharing that with him was probably not in my best interest for a happy marriage, so to speak, with my OB.
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Yeah. But now everybody's happy and on the same page, which is good. Great. Any other questions? Okay, guys. Well, thank you all for being on and hearing Heather's story tonight. Thank you so much, because this is what it's all about, is sharing our stories, knowing how it's helping other people. And then we can take that forth when someone says, well, they've got an issue with ... Now you have a story, you know, and these are recorded, so I'm happy to send it to anyone. Heather has said, please pass my story on, whoever I can help. I mean, you heard her say tonight, I'm happy to talk with anyone. So that's the beauty of this team, is support for one another and helping to get the message out about this natural health revolution, because it is key, and it is truly, truly changing lives, one life at a time. And in this case, 3 little lives at a time. And that's so true. So once again, Heather, thank you so much for being on tonight. We're overjoyed for you and your family, and especially for little Isaiah, to get his little sisters, a double package there.
Yes.
And we will take you up on that, because we want to hear about the nursing and all those other things that will follow that as we go forth from here on out. So guys, thank you so much for being on our call tonight. And just so you know, tomorrow night on Pat Anderson's call, Julie, who's on our call tonight, is going to be a guest on there, sharing her personal story about how she had chronic pain before and how these products have helped her. And so that's on Pat Anderson's call tomorrow night. So if you know of someone that might want to hear about that, just shoot me a text. I put it on the ZJ text, and it's also, we'll put it on Pam's Healthy Tips, so you can just share or tag people in that. And that's going to be tomorrow night's call, Wednesday night. So guys, we love that you're sharing your stories, because this is what's helping people to realize it is real. You know, it's not something that we're just making up. This is true to life, whole food nutrition that is truly helping our bodies to do what it was meant to do in the beginning, right? If we give it what it needs, then it knows how to start turning around and how to fight and to fill in those gaps of what's missing in our food supply today, which we all know we're not getting a lot of good nutrition out there. And so this is giving our bodies what it needs, and then it can fight and do the things it needs to do to turn around maybe some of those issues that we're dealing with, and also to help people with all those new little lives coming into the world. So we're just so happy about that. And I'm definitely going to be sending this one on to some people that I can think about right now. So thank you guys so much. Everybody say thank you, Heather. And
Thank you, Heather.
we appreciate you
Thanks,
all. And so we will see you all this time next week. Pam's Healthy Tips. Feel free to invite people to the call, and then jump on Pat Anderson's call tomorrow night at Wednesday night. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Thanks, Pam.
Right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.